Oh, I think someone just flew in here.
Alright, it's almost all honey.
Nice.
That's the first step. Now you gotta say to yourself, oh man, there's bee bodies in there. You know, ignore the bee bodies.
I will.
Then take a strainer.
Yeah.
And just pour this into a strainer that's sitting in over a bucket.
Yeah.
In a bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the honey is
Awesome.
strained through.
Okay.
And then most of the bee bodies and most of the wax will not strain through.
Right. Alright, so the bee guy basically gave us a bunch of honeycomb to filter through so we could actually get some honey. And I have started the first process. Now for those of you who are actually going to get honey from me, you may not want to watch this video. I'm letting you know right now because you're basically watching the sausage being made. But anyways, the way this works, at least the way I understand it from what he explained to us and from reading it on the internet, here's all the honeycomb stuff that he gave us. Essentially you take the honeycomb and put them in the bag and you squish it all up so that the honey comes out. And yes, these are all bees that are all kind of dead now. Alright, so you basically take the stuff in this bag and you put it into the strainer. So I've been using these gloves, these gardening gloves, just because this bag is super sticky. And from what I can tell so far, it's a very sticky, messy process. But essentially you take all the honeycomb with the bees in it, you kind of just squeeze it into the strainer. And this is the first part of it, so you're going to strain it through the strainer first, and then whatever you get into the container, you're going to further strain with cheesecloth and stuff because you still get bits of wax coming through the strainer. The little tiny bits that actually are small enough to fit through the holes. So yep, there we go. Goopy bees, all dead, into the strainer. I'll put this back in the bag here. And as you can see, look at all that honey just draining out. Isn't that awesome? What you're doing is you are straining out all the bees and the wax so you can get some honey. So here you can see I've put some of this stuff into this strainer, and you can see, oh, look at all those dead bees in the wax. Pretty gross, I know. But underneath is all the honey that's being collected. And we're just going to let that sit here and just let it continue to drain. So I'm just going to keep doing it and doing it until we sift through all this honeycomb. Alright, so now you can see most of my honey's been strained, and the next step is to put it into some canning jars and strain it. Alright, so now I've got my jars all sterilized. Time to pour the honey that was all sifted out of those combs into one of these jars. And what's going to happen is we're going to put the honey into this one jar, and then we're going to put a piece of cheesecloth over it, tighten it up, flip it upside down, and let it sift through the cheesecloth. Here we go. Let's dump this lovely golden honey into the jar. Wow, look how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? La 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 la. Into the jar. This is a lot of work for just a jar of honey. So I'm just going to leave this here and let the rest of it drip in. And then I'll be back with the cheesecloth. Alright, so now I've got my cheesecloth, which you wouldn't believe how hard it was to find cheesecloth. But anyways, I looked it up online. Supposedly they say it's good to wet the cloth before you strain so that it helps the honey move through. I'm actually not actually sure how much cheesecloth I should be using, so I guess this is going to be a little bit of trial and error, but I'm going to use it like this for now. It seems like the holes are kind of big still. Maybe I'll add another layer on. But we're just going to put it over the top like this. Hold on, let me go get another layer. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got another piece of cheesecloth. I'm going to wet this as well. La la la. Alright, and I'm going to put that over the jar. Now we've got an ultra sieve, and then put the lid on top. And don't mind all the basketball in the background. Figure out there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to flip this over on top of this jar, and hopefully it'll start filtering out.
The hard way. So then I take a toothpick, and on one near the edge, I take the toothpick and I make a little round circle the size of a straw.
Okay.
And then, if I can do this, you got that much room. Bring your straw through, but not all the way to the honey. Take the jar and lift it this way and push the straw up to the other end so you don't have a vacuum formed.
Oh, okay.
And then it will flow better than if you just turn it over.
So you just,
on the internet, they show you having one jar this way, the other jar sitting exactly on top.
But it won't go anywhere.
Well, it will, but it takes a long time.
So I inserted a straw in here. I went and used the bee guy's trick so you can get more air. And look at that. Look how it's blowing now. Much better. Alright, so I'm going to try to show you this little straw trick that I learned from the bee guy. So essentially the trick is to make it flow better. You want to basically allow air to go into the honey or into the jar so that it doesn't create a vacuum. So the trick is you make a little hole in your cheesecloth by the edge of the jar, the rim here, and then you take the straw and basically you put the straw in. I can get it in here. Go. Okay. Let's make the hole bigger. Of course, it was a lot easier when nobody was watching. Alright, so you put the straw in. Alright. And then you don't want the straw to hit the honey. So the trick is you kind of turn the jar so that the honey starts flowing so you can get the straw clear so that it lets some air in. And then you just flip this puppy over. And this way your straw stays where it needs to, and you want to leave a little room for air here. And then it allows your honey to flow really well. Ta-da! And that, my friends, is the trick. Alright, so the first round of straining is done. You can see the strained honey here. And look up here. You see it's kind of lighter. This is all the goop, I guess, that's left over. So now we're going to strain it a second time.